United Policyholders, nonprofit. I am Amy Bach. I am one of the founders of the organization. We have been your friend in the insurance business. I don't know, I always want to joke about that with the Diamond Guys commercial, but that's really what we are. We're a nonprofit consumer group that focuses on insurance, giving you buying guidance, giving you claim guidance, and helping solve problems like the one that we are talking about today. Next slide, please. So we don't take money from insurance companies, but we know a lot about insurance. And you can learn more about our work at uphelp.org. And these are two of our tools. The one that you on the right there is the Savvy Consumer's Guide to Buying Insurance, where we kind of captured 30 years worth of helping people after disasters where their home insurance gets road tested at a high speed. We turn those into buying tips for you. The reality though is that you're in a unique situation now in California, where we're not as much, it's not as much a buyer's market. You have less options than you used to, so you're better off going to our website and getting the most up-to-date information. Next slide. Next slide, please. Well, sorry, I'm going to keep going because I know we don't have a lot of time. So the questions that have been coming in to the, what happened? There we go. Okay, so some of the things I want to reinforce are things that you heard from both Joel and Janet. So even though Janet speaks for the insurance companies and I speak for consumers, we do agree on some things, right? 2/3 of the people who lose homes in wildfires don't have enough insurance on their homes. So you heard Joel talking about that. You're going to hear me talking about it. Don't blindly trust that your insurer agent have adequately protected you. Now, I love hearing when Janet says your insurer is your partner, but the reality is that probably most of you have been told for decades you're in good hands and you don't need to worry, you've got insurance and you're fine. But that really turns out not to be true after wildfires. Hopefully, you're never gonna lose your home in a wildfire, you won't need it, but you're here to be safe, not sorry, right? So I'm here to tell you that there is a bit of a disconnect between what insurance agents typically will tell you and what reality is, right? Reality is that the insurance company and the agent, they want to sell you a policy, they want to close the deal, put you in the customer column, right? You have a very major asset to protect. So really, you do need to pay more attention to your insurance than you thought you did. So even if your agent has said, oh, you're fine, chances are that you may not be. And that's, some of these questions that have come in with people saying, well, I asked my insurer, I said I wanted more, and they said they wouldn't sell me more. That is some of the reality right now on the ground. Insurers are definitely nervous about California. They have seen, we've had some bad years of wildfires. And so they are looking to limit the amount of risk. So you do have to be assertive in making sure that you are insuring your dwelling to value. And as Joel said, that's going to help you be insured for your other categories. Our website is there for you to get more answers to these questions after tonight. Next slide. Thank you. So because the situation has changed in California since the 2017 fires, it has definitely become harder for people in areas that have had fires to get and keep their home insurance. Our organization has had to ramp up the work that we're doing to help bring you solutions. We have done webinars, which you can watch. They're all free. We've had Fair Plan staff come on to educate you about options, and then we have publications. The two main ones I've got links to here. One of them, Drop by Your Insurer in California, Where to Go for Help, and then the lowdown from up on the California Fair Plan. And then you can watch these two webinars that we've done with insurance agents. If you do get a non-renewal notice, you have 75 days to shop. We encourage you to take every one of those days if you need them. So don't sit around thinking, oh my God, it is scary. But you always do have the FAIR plan. That's going to be there for you. It's not perfect, but it is there. So you need to, and pretty much, you're not going to be out there without. It's more a question of whether you'll be able to afford it. And that's a serious challenge, of course, for a lot of people. And we are working very hard to tame the beast and bring the market back into where it should be, where home insurance, instead of being in the realm of $8,000 a year, bring it back down to where most people can afford it. And how are we working to do that? Next slide, please. We are working to get standards in place so that when you take steps to make your home less likely to be damaged or burned, your insurer will reward you by either keeping you as a customer or giving you a better rate. But before we get back to that, just a few more points I want to hammer home that you've already heard. Very easy to inventory your assets. Take your cell phone, put the camera, the video setting, walk around talking as you go and narrate. Open drawers, photograph what's in the drawers, and then send that video to a safe place where you'll be able to find it if, God forbid, you ever need it. Next slide, please. Thank you. Questions to ask an insurer or agent. We would love your insurer to treat you like a partner. It doesn't feel like it right now, but certainly insurance companies have a lot of expertise, right, on construction costs. They should know how much insurance you should have. They pay claims all the time. So I feel that you absolutely should be asking these questions to your agent. And if they can't answer them, try to find another agent. But of course, in today's world, it's a lot of people are just worrying about holding on to the policy they have. And not so much, you heard Janet say, some people are worried about calling the insurer and calling attention to themselves. People want to fly under the radar. They don't want to get dropped. At the same time, you want that insurance that you're paying for to be there for you. So asking these questions is still important. Even today, when you don't have as much choices and you're not as much in the driver's seat as you had been, in terms of there being a lot of options for you. There are less options, but there still are options. And you can still try to customize your policy for the true value of your assets. That's really the challenge here. And so all these things are on our website. Next slide, please. It's just important to understand the dynamic, that you think, oh, well, my insurance agent, they get paid a commission, right? So they probably want to sell me more. And so I'm going to resist that. I need to tell you, that's not the way it really is. Yes, they do make a commission on what they sell you, but it's never worth it to them to try to push you to buy more if they think that that's gonna cause you to go somewhere else. Their basic objective is to get you in the door and get a policy written, and then their commission, it's not going to be that much more if they push you to get higher limits. And they understand that most consumers do not want to spend more than they have to on their insurance. It's not something people are excited about. Reminder that flood and earthquake damage are not covered unless you purchase a separate policy. Next slide, please. Shopping considerations, and this is just reality. UP, we're a consumer group, so we're going to give you the straight scoop. We're not trying to sell you anything. We're just trying to help you make good decisions. When you go to an agent today, they don't want to lose your auto business, right? So so they may be more likely to put you in the FAIR plan and sell you this DIC, difference in conditions policy, so they can keep your car insurance, and then they are to try to say, well, I can't help you, go to somebody else, right? So there are some agents that are putting people in the FAIR plan when there may be other options. So for us, we don't want you in the FAIR plan unless that really is the only company that's willing to take you. That's why we have offered these webinars, to try to help you know that there are insurance companies out there that you may never have heard of. So we're giving you some guidance on, well, are they okay? Do they have enough money to pay claims? How do I find them? So a FAIR plan policy plus a DIC is the last resort way to replicate the protection that you have through a normal company, right? And that's the way it is now. Now, a normal company, a State Farm, an Allstate, brand names you've heard of, there are other kinds of insurance companies. They're called surplus or non-admitted. And basically, they are companies that have decided they want to be a little bit less regulated. So there's a little bit of risk in going with those companies if they are small, because they are not protected by the state guarantee fund. So if they were to, there was one company in Paradise in the Camp Fire that went belly up because they had a lot of customers that had total losses and they couldn't cover it, so the guarantee fund stepped in. But if you go a company like Lloyd's of London, they're a surplus company. They are adequately financed. So again, this is just about shopping and comparing. Next slide, please. So you already heard from Joel that what we know, that you got to do everything you can for your property, and that's why you're all here, right? You already understand the concept of engaging in your community's fire prevention efforts and risk reduction efforts, because your neighbors affect you as well. So we do know a lot more now about what conditions you want to have around your home with defensible space, and you don't want wood fencing coming right up to the home, things that will make it easier for firefighters like Chief Tyler and his team to save your home. Next slide, please. So we talked about the fire line score. A lot of people asked in the chat, how do I find out my score? Very hard to do. I think the legislature is gonna fix this soon. But Fireline is only one of these scoring models. So there's some other scoring models that are coming in that may be a little bit more helpful to those of you who have made your homes less likely to burn. Next slide, please. So why do I love your Chief Tyler? Because he is a very active participant in a working group that our organization had going for quite a while. So is Joel. And we are trying to get standards in place in California. We're marching along so that you will get insurance rewards. Either you will be able to hold on to your insurance if you make your home less likely to burn, or you will be able to get a better rate. We would like both. And that is a work in progress. Next slide. So again, my organization has no, we're not trying to sell you anything. We just want to help, right? That's a picture of me with a fire marshal in Orinda, going on a ride along. A homeowner got a non-renewal notice from Allstate. He called his local fire department. The local fire department said, yeah, we'll come out. Chief Tyler, they do that all the time. We'll come out, we'll tell you what we think you ought to do to make it less likely that your home's going to burn, and then we'll give you something you can send to your insurance company. Well, very eye-opening. So what we're trying to do is just keep on building on the great work that fire safe councils, fire-wise communities, and proactive fire officials like Chief Tyler are doing in their communities, and then really get insurers to fulfill that promise that Janet said, that to be your partner and not just to punish you because you live in a beautiful place that's vulnerable.